You probably know ginger as the little knobby root hiding in the produce aisle. But this wrinkled piece of underground stem has traveled from ancient medicine to modern research, and one of its most famous uses has a surprisingly complicated story. Stay to the end and you'll learn what ginger really is, why people have used it for nausea for centuries, what modern research actually supports, how to use it simply in food, how to grow it from a rhizome, and where caution is more important than enthusiasm. The plant behind the kitchen spice is Zingiber officinale. And just like turmeric, ginger is not technically a root. The familiar ginger root is actually a rhizome, an underground stem. That rhizome is the plant's storage system. Small buds along it can produce new shoots, which is why one healthy piece can become an entirely new ginger plant. Above ground, ginger looks surprisingly different from the piece in your kitchen. It produces upright leafy stems and long narrow leaves that give the plant a tropical appearance. Ginger is native to warm parts of Asia and is now cultivated in many tropical and subtropical regions around the world. Its story began long before modern supermarkets. For centuries, ginger has appeared in Asian and other traditional healing systems for digestive discomfort, nausea, and a variety of other complaints. The important part is not simply that people used it. It is that one traditional claim, ginger for nausea, eventually became a question researchers could actually test. Among the best-known modern questions is motion sickness. Does ginger actually prevent that queasy feeling when the world around you seems to move? The answer is not as strong as the reputation suggests. Many studies of ginger for motion sickness have not shown clear benefit. That is an excellent example of why a familiar reputation can outlive the scientific evidence. Something can be widely recommended and still remain uncertain when studied carefully. Pregnancy-related nausea is a different story. Research suggests ginger may help reduce nausea and vomiting associated with pregnancy. But even here, the research concerns specific uses and forms. It does not mean that every ginger product, every dose, or every pregnancy situation is the same. Ginger has also been studied for nausea after surgery and during cancer treatment. Results have been mixed or uncertain, and it should not be presented as a replacement for medical care. One reason ginger may affect nausea is that its compounds appear to interact with digestive and nervous system pathways. But the exact mechanism is not completely understood. Ginger has also attracted attention for joint and muscle discomfort. Some studies suggest possible benefits, but the overall evidence is still uncertain, especially for conditions such as knee osteoarthritis. A review of ginger for knee osteoarthritis found insufficient evidence to confidently say oral ginger supplements improve pain and function. That does not prove ginger does nothing, it means the evidence is not strong enough for a firm conclusion. And that distinction is one of the most useful habits you can learn when listening to herbal health claims. Not proven is not the same as proven useless. It means the question is still open. So where is ginger on firmer ground? One of its simplest roles may also be its oldest, food. Fresh ginger brings heat, aroma, and brightness to soups, stir-fries, vegetables, rice dishes, sauces, and teas. To prepare fresh ginger, scrape the thin skin away with the edge of a spoon. Then slice, mince, or grate the pale yellow flesh beneath. A little ginger can transform a meal. Try a small amount first, especially if you are not used to its heat. Ginger also pairs beautifully with garlic, scallions, lemon, soy sauce, sesame, cinnamon, and other warm spices. Ginger tea is one of the simplest preparations. A few thin slices steeped in hot water can create a strong, warming drink without turning the kitchen into a laboratory. But concentrated ginger supplements are a different conversation. Powdered extracts and capsules can deliver much more concentrated amounts than a normal serving of food. Ginger is generally well tolerated in many studies, but it can cause abdominal discomfort, heartburn, diarrhea, or mouth and throat irritation, especially when taken in larger amounts. That makes personal tolerance important. If ginger repeatedly causes burning or stomach discomfort, more is not the answer. And if you take prescription medicines, especially multiple medicines, it is sensible to show the exact ginger product to a pharmacist or doctor before using concentrated supplements regularly. The reason is simple: herbal products can interact with medicines, and the risk depends on the specific product, amount, and person. Now let's return to the plant itself. Ginger is wonderfully suited to propagation because the rhizome already contains the plant's next generation. Choose a firm rhizome with plump buds. Avoid pieces that are shriveled, moldy, badly damaged, or completely dried out. Cutting a large rhizome into smaller pieces can work when each piece has a viable bud. Let any freshly cut surface dry briefly before planting. Plant the rhizome shallowly in loose, rich, well-drained soil, with the buds facing upward. Cover it lightly rather than burying it deep. Ginger likes warmth, moisture, and bright conditions. In hot climates, some protection from harsh midday sun can help prevent stress. During active growth, keep the growing medium evenly moist but never stagnant. The soil should feel damp, not like a soaked sponge. As the season ends, the leaves may yellow and die back. That can be a signal that the plant is moving toward dormancy and the rhizome is becoming the main story again. Once the plant has matured, you can gently lift the soil and inspect the rhizome. Harvest only what you need, and save a healthy bud-bearing piece if you want another cycle. That is what makes ginger such a satisfying plant. The part you eat can also become the beginning of the next plant. So what should you remember? Ginger has one relatively well-supported story. Some forms may help with certain types of nausea, especially pregnancy-related nausea, but many other popular claims remain uncertain. Its traditional reputation is valuable, but it should not be stretched into a promise to cure arthritis, prevent cancer, or replace medical treatment. For everyday life, ginger is easier to appreciate without making it carry impossible expectations. Cook with it. Enjoy its flavor. Grow it if your climate allows. If you are using concentrated ginger regularly, especially alongside prescription medicines, ask a healthcare professional about the exact product rather than relying on a generic claim that ginger is natural. And if nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, or another symptom is new, severe, or persistent, the important question is not which herb to try next. It is why the symptom is happening. Perhaps that is ginger's most useful lesson. A familiar plant can have a long history, genuine scientific clues, practical culinary value, and still leave important questions unanswered. The next time you hold that wrinkled piece of ginger, remember what you are really holding: an underground stem, a living storage organ, an old traditional remedy, a useful food, and a plant that can start again from a single bud. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Plant Lore After 60. We will keep looking at familiar plants and separating traditional wisdom from claims that deserve a closer look.